the back, go ahead.
Thank you. Netanyahu has said that the fuel is being withheld by Hamas. Have you had any kind of confirmation from him or pushback from him on trying to get fuel into the Gaza Strip?
The Israelis have expressed concerns about fuel getting into Gaza, and we understand where the concerns are coming from, because Hamas wants this fuel as well, to keep their tunnels lit and to support their own needs, for their own vehicle and power needs. I mean, it's a legitimate concern, no question about that. Our argument is that it's also a legitimate need of the innocent civilians in Gaza who are suffering right now and in desperate need of continued medical care and fresh water to drink. And so what we're working on with the Israelis is an accommodation here where they can be confident that it's not going to go to Hamas, and we can be confident that it's going to get in and get to the people in need. And we're still working on that.
Has he been receptive to those concerns?
I won't talk about our diplomatic conversations in any great detail. I'll just tell you that we understand their concerns. They're not illegitimate, and we are working very hard to address those.
Go ahead, Ed, in the back.
Yeah, thanks. Admiral, I believe the President has, a lot of people have said that the information coming from the Gaza Health Ministry is not reliable because it's controlled by Hamas. We can see on social media just terrible things happening, presumably to civilians, children, in Gaza. So does the United States have its own estimate of what's happening and how many people in Gaza, and where should the rest of us get accurate information on that count?
We are doing the best we can to try to get an assessment of the scope of the casualties. And you can imagine we're pulling from multiple different sources. We certainly are not taking the Ministry of Health's numbers at face value. You know, we're talking to partners on the ground now that we have a direct linkage with aid organizations on the ground. As these trucks are getting in, we are getting a little bit more fidelity on the situation. So we are pulling from multiple sources. And without spouting a whole number here, I can tell you we are convinced that there have been many thousands of civilian deaths in Gaza thus far in the conflict. And as I've said before, I'll say it again, each and every one of them is a tragedy. Each and every one of them we should work to prevent. We know that each and every one of them means that there's some grieving family somewhere out there that's going to need support and going to need help. We know that. And so we're continuing to monitor as best we can, and we are continuing to stay in touch with our Israeli counterparts about the need to reduce and minimize civilian casualties as much as possible.